Want more HFY stories? Smash that subscribe button and ring the bell for notifications.
The nebula was a graveyard of light. Captain Eris Thorne of the Starwood Wanderer knew this, felt it in the way the ship's hull hummed against invisible currents, in the way stars smeared into streaks of violet and crimson through the observation port. His first officer, Kale, 7, a being of crystalline facets and quiet precision, stood beside him, its multifaceted eyes reflecting the chaotic beauty outside. The gravitational shear is increasing, Kale, 7 stated, its voice a soft chime that always reminded Eris of wind chimes in a forgotten garden. We are approaching the designated coordinates, but the path is unstable. Eris nodded, his gaze fixed on the swirling maelstrom. They were here for the echoes, ancient relics rumored to predate the current galactic civilizations. The mission was simple: retrieve one, return to the Alliance, and claim the reward that would keep his crew paid and his ship flying. Simple, until the Wanderer shuddered, a violent lurch that threw Eris against the console. Warning lights flashed crimson, and the ship's AI, a bored-sounding named Janus, announced, gravitational anomaly detected. Course correction failing. Initiating emergency protocols. Kale 7's facets flickered with concern. Captain, the anomaly is not natural. It is deliberate. Eris gritted his teeth, his hands flying over the controls. Deliberate or not, we're getting out of here. But the Wanderer was a scavenger ship, not a war machine. Its engines sputtered, and the ship began to drift, pulled inexorably toward the nebula's heart. Outside, the stars twisted into impossible shapes, and for a moment, Eris thought he saw faces in the swirling gas. Hundreds of them, silent and screaming. Then, the ship went dark. Silence. Thick, suffocating silence. Eris blinked, his eyes adjusting to the emergency lights that cast long, dancing shadows across the bridge. Kale, 7 stood motionless, its crystalline form reflecting the dim glow. Life support is nominal, the alien reported, its voice steady despite the tension. But we are adrift. The anomaly has disabled our primary systems. Eris cursed under his breath. Janus, status report. The AI's voice crackled weakly. Primary power offline. Navigation and comms are non-functional. We're floating in the middle of nowhere, surrounded by ghosts and gravity. Eris slumped into his chair, the weight of failure settling on his shoulders. He'd been a spacer for 20 years, seen things that would make most humans scream. But this felt wrong. The nebula wasn't just empty space. It was alive. Kale, 7 moved closer, its facets narrowing slightly. Captain, I detect something. Biological, but not like anything in the Alliance database. Eris straightened. Show me. On the main screen, a flickering image appeared. Something amorphous, shifting between shapes like liquid metal. It had no discernible features, no eyes, no mouth. Yet Eris felt it staring at him. What is it? I do not know. Kale, 7 admitted. But it is approaching the Wanderer. The ship shuddered again, this time from an impact. Not a collision, but something softer, something organic. Eris grabbed his sidearm, a pulse pistol he hadn't used in years, and Kale, 7 extended a crystalline tendril, sharpening it to a point. They are inside, the alien said, its chime-like voice now sharp with tension. The corridor outside the bridge was dark, lit only by the flickering emergency lights. Eris moved cautiously, his boots echoing in the silence. Kale, 7 glided beside him, its form almost invisible in the dimness. They are not hostile, the alien said, its voice barely a whisper. Not yet. Eris frowned. What do you mean, not yet? They are curious, Kale, 7 explained. They mimic. They observe. But they do not understand. Ahead, a shape shimmered in the hallway, shifting from a human silhouette to something vaguely reptilian, then to a blob of gelatinous goo. It didn't attack, simply stood there, watching them. Eris raised his pistol, but Kale, 7 stopped him. No, Captain. They are not the enemy. Not yet. The creature tilted its head, as if considering them. Then, it dissolved into a puddle on the floor and slithered away. Eris exhaled shakily. What are they? I do not know. Kale, 7 repeated. But they are old. Very old. They continued deeper into the ship, passing crew quarters and maintenance bays, all eerily silent. The amoeboid creatures were everywhere, mimicking inanimate objects, shifting forms, but never attacking. It was unnerving, like being watched by a room full of mirrors. Then, they found the science officer, Dr. Alara Vance. She was sitting in the mess hall, humming a tuneless melody, her eyes wide and unfocused. A small amoeboid creature clung to her shoulder, mimicking her hair. "Alara," Eris called out. She turned, her smile too wide. "They're so beautiful, aren't they? The dreams, they're all here." Eris's blood ran cold. "Dreams?" Alara giggled. "The nebula, it's made of them. All the dreams everyone ever had. And now they're sharing." Kale 7's facets darkened. "Captain, we need to leave. Now." But it was too late. The ship lurched again, and the lights went out completely. Darkness. Absolute, suffocating darkness. Eris could hear Kale 7's faint chime, the sound of the alien's movement, but nothing else. No engines, no hum of the ship, just the silence of the void. Then, a voice, soft, melodic, yet utterly alien, spoke in his mind. "You dream." Eris froze. "Who's there?" "We are the dreamers," the voice replied. "You are the first who can hear us." He stumbled forward, his hands outstretched, until he bumped into Kale 7. "They're in my head," he whispered. The alien's form vibrated with unease. Asterisk, "They are not hostile, Captain. They are lonely." Asterisk. "Lonely? In the middle of a nebula full of stolen dreams?" Eris wasn't buying it. "We need to get to the engine room. Maybe we can restart the ship." Kale 7 agreed, and they moved through the darkness, guided by the alien's internal senses. The amoeboid creatures were everywhere now, their forms shifting constantly, but they didn't attack. Instead, they seemed to guide them, leading the way through the labyrinthine corridors. Finally, they reached the engine room. The door was sealed, but a small amoeboid creature slithered up and mimicked the locking mechanism, dissolving it into liquid. Eris pushed the door open and stepped inside. The room was a mess of wires and conduits, but the core was intact, a pulsating sphere of energy that hummed with power. "We can restart it," Eris said, already moving toward the controls. "But we need to act fast." As he worked, the voice returned in his mind, clearer this time. Asterisk, "You are different. You dream while awake." Asterisk. Eris paused. "What do you mean?" Asterisk, "Others dream in sleep. You dream in chaos. In focus. It is violent." Asterisk. He didn't understand, but he didn't have time to ponder. The ship shuddered again, and the sphere of energy dimmed. "They're trying to stop us," Eris muttered, his hands flying over the controls. Kale 7 watched him, its facets reflecting the pulsating light. Asterisk, "Your focus. It is like a knife. They do not know how to defend against it." Asterisk. Eris gritted his teeth. "Just tell me what to do." The voice in Eris's mind grew more insistent, its tone shifting from curiosity to urgency. Asterisk, "The dreamers are afraid. They do not understand your focus. It is a weapon to them." Asterisk. Eris slammed his fist on the console, the ship groaning in response. "A weapon? I'm just trying to save my crew." "But you do not dream like them," the voice replied. Asterisk, "Your dreams are not passive. They are active. They are violent." Asterisk. Kale 7 moved closer to the energy core, its crystalline form absorbing the pulsating light. Asterisk, "Captain, the dreamers are not our enemy. They are lost. They have forgotten what they were." Asterisk. Eris stared at the alien. "Forgotten? How?" Asterisk, "They were once like us. Solid. Defined. But the nebula, it changed them. They absorbed too many dreams, too many forms, and now they are nothing but a collective consciousness." Asterisk. A chill ran down Eris's spine. "So they're not hostile. They're just confused." Asterisk. "Yes. And you are the only one who can reach them." Asterisk. The ship lurched violently, and the energy core flickered. "We don't have time for a therapy session," Eris snapped. "We need to get out of here." "But you can," the voice insisted. Asterisk. "Your focus. It is the key. You can show them what they've lost." Asterisk. Eris hesitated. How could he focus on anything but survival? The crew was counting on him. Kale 7 was counting on him, and now these dreamers wanted him to play cosmic therapist? Then, the ship went dark again. Panic. Pure, unadulterated panic. Eris's hands trembled as he fumbled with the controls, the emergency lights flickering like dying stars. Kale 7 stood motionless, its facets reflecting the chaos. Asterisk Captain, the dreamers are afraid. They are pulling us deeper into the nebula. Asterisk. Eris gritted his teeth. I can't focus like this. There's too much noise. Then quiet your mind, the voice replied. Asterisk focus on one thing. Only one thing. Asterisk. But what? The ship? The crew? KL-7? The nebula itself? The options swirled in his mind, a chaotic storm of thoughts. Then, he remembered Alara's words. The dreams, they're all here. His own dreams. The ones he'd had since he was a child. Visions of stars, of nebulae, of endless space. They were his sanctuary, his escape from the chaos of his life. Maybe that was the key. Eris closed his eyes, shutting out the flickering lights, the trembling ship, the fear. He focused on his dreams, on the beauty of the cosmos, on the silent majesty of the stars. And slowly, the chaos around him began to fade. The ship stopped shuddering. The emergency lights steadied, and the voice in his mind softened. Asterisk yes. Like that. Asterisk. Eris opened his eyes. The energy core pulsed steadily now, and the amoeboid creatures in the room had stopped shifting, their forms solidifying into something resembling humans, aliens, even starships. They were remembering. KL-7 turned to him, its facets glowing with a soft light. Asterisk you did it, Captain. You reached them. Asterisk. Eris slumped against the console, exhaustion washing over him. Just get us out of here. The Starwood Wanderer hummed to life, its engines roaring back to life with a deafening roar. Outside the viewport, the nebula's chaotic beauty began to stabilize, the swirling mists parting to reveal the star-studded void beyond. Eris slumped in his chair, the adrenaline draining from his system, leaving him bone-tired. KL-7 glided to his side, its crystalline form reflecting the steady glow of the controls. Asterisk the dreamers are grateful, Captain. They will not trouble us again. Asterisk. Eris nodded, too exhausted to speak. The mission was a success. They had the echo data. The ship was functional, and they were alive. But at what cost? The nebula had been a living thing, a repository of forgotten dreams. And he had what? Exploited it? Used it? You did not exploit, KL-7 said, as if reading his thoughts. Asterisk you helped. They were lost, and you showed them the way back. Asterisk. Eris sighed. I just wanted to save my crew. And you did, the alien replied. Asterisk, but there is more. The dreamers have given you a gift. Asterisk. Before Eris could ask, a soft warmth spread through his mind. Not the chaotic voice from before, but something peaceful, something ancient. And with it came a flood of images. Not his own dreams, but the dreams of others. A child's fear of the dark, a lover's promise, a pilot's first flight. The nebula had shared its secrets with him. Eris closed his eyes, overwhelmed. What does this mean? It means you are no longer just a spacer, Captain, KL-7 said. You are a keeper of dreams. The ship's comms crackled to life. Captain Thorne? This is Alara. Is it over? Eris smiled. It's over, Alara. We're heading home. The Starwood Wanderer cut through the void, leaving the nebula behind. But Eris knew he would never truly escape it. The dreams were still there, a quiet hum in the back of his mind, a reminder of the ghosts they had encountered, the lives they had touched. KL-7 stood beside him, its facets reflecting the stars outside. They will remember you, Captain. Eris nodded. I hope so. They already do, the alien replied. You are the violent dreamer. The title struck him as odd, yet fitting. Violent, because his focus was a weapon in a world of chaos. Dreamer, because he had reached into the nebula's heart and brought back more than just data. The ship's AI, Janus, announced, We have exited the nebula. All systems nominal. Eris exhaled, the tension finally leaving his shoulders. Set a course for the nearest Alliance outpost. And, thank you, KL-7. The alien's facets glowed softly. Asterisk it was we who should thank you, Captain. You showed us that not all focus is destructive. Some can be healing. Asterisk. Eris smiled. Let's go home. As the Starwood Wanderer accelerated into the starfield, Eris closed his eyes, not in exhaustion, but in wonder. The nebula was gone, but the dreams remained. And somewhere, in the vastness of space, the dreamers were remembering. The Alliance outpost was a sprawling hub of activity, ships docking and departing in a constant dance of commerce and exploration. Eris stood on the observation deck, watching the chaos, a cup of synth coffee warming his hands. Kale, 7, stood beside him, its crystalline form absorbing the light of the nearby star. "You will be honored for this," the alien said. "The echo data is unprecedented. The Alliance will pay handsomely." Eris nodded, but his mind was elsewhere. "And the dreamers? What will happen to them?" "They will heal," Kale, 7, replied. The nebula is quiet now. They are at peace. Eris took a sip of his coffee, the bitterness grounding him. "Good. But you are not at peace, Captain," the alien observed. Eris sighed. "How could I be? I saw things, felt things that no one should ever have to carry. Yet you carry them," Kale, 7, said. And in doing so, you have become something more than a spacer. You are a bridge between worlds. Eris looked at the alien, at its multifaceted eyes reflecting the starlight. "What do you mean?" "The dreamers are not the only ones who have forgotten," Kale, 7, replied. Many species have lost touch with their true nature. They have forgotten how to dream. But you remember. Eris frowned. "I don't understand." "You are the violent dreamer, Captain," the alien said. "And your dream, it will change everything." Before Eris could respond, a commotion erupted at the other end of the deck. A group of scientists were arguing excitedly, pointing at a data pad. "It's impossible," one of them exclaimed. "The echo data, it's showing signs of life in the nebula. Not just any life, but dreams." Eris's blood ran cold. He had known, deep down, that the nebula was more than just a gravitational anomaly. It was alive. And now, the Alliance knew it too. Kale, 7, turned to him, its facets glowing with an unreadable light. "They will come. They will want to study it. To control it. Eris tightened his grip on his coffee cup. "Then we'll have to stop them." "But how?" the alien asked. They have the resources. The firepower. Eris smiled, a slow, deliberate smile. "They don't have the dreams." And with that, he knew his mission was far from over. The nebula was quiet now, but the dreamers were out there, and someone had to protect them. Someone had to keep their secrets safe. Someone had to be the violent dreamer. The Starwood Wanderer departed the Alliance outpost, its engines roaring as it carved a path through the starfield. Eris sat in the captain's chair, the weight of his new purpose settling on his shoulders. Kale, 7, stood beside him, its crystalline form reflecting the stars outside. "You are sure about this?" the alien asked. "The Alliance will not be pleased." Eris nodded. "The dreamers trusted us.